Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order. Today we have the regular village board meeting followed by the committee of the whole meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 8th, 2012. We're in the Village Hall, 10300 Roosevelt Road, and it looks like it's about 7:03 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mrs. Booth, how are you, young lady?
Great. How are you?
Good. Can you please call the roll?
Mr. Gatuso?
Present.
Mr. Novak?
Present.
Mr. Terry?
Present.
Mr. Sloan?
Present.
Mr. Stecker?
Present.
Mr. Yurkovich?
Present.
Mr. Polio?
Present. We do have a quorum. Are there any presentations this evening under item number 4? Anything to present?
No, there are not.
Okay, item number 5, public comments and questions, to give as many visitors as possible an opportunity to speak. And in the interest of adjourning by 9 p.m., please limit your comments to 3 minutes in length unless further time is granted by the board. Anyone that would like to address the board, just please step up to the microphone, introduce yourself and your address for our clerk for our minutes, and fire away.
Is this on?
Yep.
It's hard to tell from here. Yes?
Yes.
You're good. Okay. Hi, my name is John O'Keefe. My home is at 10821 Claridge. Okay. Prior to that, I had a home on Newcastle. I've been a homeowner in the village for well over 20 years. I would need some legal advice as to what to do with a problem I have. There are 2 pieces of plant material that are rooted in the piece of property immediately west of me. There's a bush in the back that's about now growing like horizontally, and it's about 4 feet over the lot line, and it prevents me from lining up my car to put it in the garage. And there's a tree in the front, which is also vastly overgrown. And the top of the tree is up above my gutters, and the bottom of the tree, I just measured it before I came over here, is 40 inches from the ground. So I have to kind of go like Jungle Jim to walk out of my driveway. And basically, I can't use my driveway to put a car through here because the branches of the tree would scratch the paint. So I haven't been putting a car in the back. And I want to know, my intention is to hire a tree service and have them do this on a professional basis. I would love to take the matter up with the neighbors. Of course, that's the easy way, and I wouldn't be here if I could do that. But they're kind of uncooperative. The guy's got a very bad temper, and he told me several years ago he doesn't want to see me or talk to me or anything else anymore. So that's no good. So what type of legal recourse do I have here?
Well, let's, just a couple of questions. This is a privately owned tree it's not a village parkway tree?
No.
This
It's
is
inside the sidewalk.
So
Both of
this
these
is your neighbor
to my west.
to the west of you, and apparently his trees are encroaching on your airspace. If you
Yeah,
drew
well, as I
a
said,
line
the
up
driveway is
from your-
basically unusable. Okay, because the tree is down so far.
um,
And I'm willing to have it trimmed and taken care of. I don't want to deal with them necessarily because they're very uncooperative.
Well, we have our attorney here that could probably give you an opinion as well, but my understanding is that branches that offend your airspace, so in other words, your property line straight up.
Yeah, the lot line being here.
Yes, that, you obviously you want to make sure you're on, sound locations, that you're able to trim those, basically at your cost. Okay? And you can do that. You can hire somebody to do that as well.
I got an estimate from, because this was a problem last year, then it got too late, I didn't pursue the matter. I got an estimate, and they wanted the initials of the neighbor on the estimate. They said they wouldn't do the work without it. So maybe I should try somebody else, yeah? You're telling me I have the legal right to cut this?
Mike, am I correct on my assessment?
I'm not your attorney, and I'm not giving you legal advice, but I'm answering a question. Generally, any branches that are protruding onto a property owner's property, the property owner has the right to deal with. I would caution you that you don't want to do something to damage the tree itself. So your thought to use a professional is along the right lines. Probably that company that you talked about is concerned about
Sure.
being drawn into a dispute with you and your neighbors, but generally that encroachment onto your property you can deal with.
So, I mean, you may want to get another opinion from another, tree service to see,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
to see
yeah.
if that would do it.
Could I get something, could you fax me something that pretty much tells me what you just told me here?
I'm sure there's something that we could, that's out there in the tree law. I mean, I know we've, but yeah, you know what, April, if you wouldn't mind getting some kind of fax number or whatever, maybe we can dig up some type of deal. The other thing, certainly you may contact an attorney of your choice and, send off a letter as well. I mean, you could, like Mr. Durkin said, he cannot be your attorney in handling this, but you may want to go that route as well.
Mr. Novak, I spoke to briefly before the meeting, and he suggested that maybe somebody should come out from Public Works or something to take a look at this. That was.
Yeah, I talked when we first initially talked about that, but now as you explained the situation, I thought it was overgrown plants protruding, and I thought it was a public, village park, but I think what the mayor said is exactly the route to take. So,
I mean, you want to have, obviously, for whomever you talk to, whatever company, you want to have your survey out there, you want to make sure where your property line is,
I know that
you want to make sure.
Principals put in out there, and I had to get the product. There's no question.
I guess it's unfortunate that two neighbors, and you've lived there a long time, can't come to some type of common agreement
Tell me about it.
with this. This is not a new problem between neighbors, but it is one that surfaces on several occasions. Hopefully, conversation works, but apparently in this case, it does not.
Would you suggest, who's the village's tree service Synod?
Synod is the contracted village tree
Would you
service.
suggest that I get ahold of them?
I would certainly encourage you. There's plenty of others in the phone book. I'm sure that even the village has a listing of registered tree contractors that there's Winkler that's out there. There's probably a few other ones out there as well that are all equally versed in the operation.
Yeah, well, that's why when I hire a professional to do the work, I'm more than willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
But if I'm not an arborist, and then if the tree is damaged and it decides to die, then I don't want to get the lawsuit, go to court, and all this. I want to do this the easiest possible way.
Yeah, well, those things happen. I mean, one way or another. I mean,
I'm sure you've heard this problem before, anybody just said, I'm sure that's not unique.
yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please step up.
My name is Mike Maltier, and I live at Newcastle Avenue. And I have to bring this up. It's been bugging me for a long, long time. I still say that all the men that started the fire department back in 1954 and continued on for 23 years are entitled to a pension. We protected this town and its people and property for every day and night at all hours, no matter what kind of weather we had. How can you pay pensions of over $100,000 and we get not one penny? This is really a slap in the face for half of us that are still living. And that's, I think, less than half of us living. Because we were on 24/7. We never had a day off. For 23 years, we served this village and got nothing for it. My next item is the sewer rate of $2 for every 1,000 gallons of water that we use in our homes. I think you are completely out of line. And furthermore, the water we get from Chicago is really undrinkable until you put chemicals in it so that we can drink it. And you know that for a fact. And then you put it in this distribution lines, and finally we get it. The water has been contaminated from Great Lakes, and it has to be treated no matter what. Where's the money going for all the surcharge that we paid for? My last water bill, I paid $23, or almost $23 for a sewer that I got nothing to do with. I have to clean it almost every week because it's full of junk from rain and whatever else. I pick it up with a shovel. That I shouldn't have to do, but I do it because the sewer happens to be in front of my house. That's another item. And I don't know if you agree or not, this water is undrinkable when it comes from the city of Chicago. It is. You can't drink it unless you treat it, and you do treat it. We get a report from you every year. So that takes care of that. One other matter, another note completely ignored, is that the last meeting I attended, I guess it was a couple of meetings ago, I brought up some questions. You never answered me. But you did answer the other people. You didn't answer me. Never answered my questions. I don't know why. Something you got against me? I don't know. That may be. I don't know. I don't care really. Another item. Why do you take over the complete meeting when all the trustees are supposed to take on some of the tasks that you handle alone? And you do that. These other trustees, why don't you assign them, designate some of the things that for them to do? Why are you taking it all on your shoulders? I don't think you should. When I ran meetings, I designated to the other guys, the board members that were on the board. But you don't. You're trying to correct things that have happened in this town that happened for 60 years. And you're trying to do it all in one term. Can't be done. It's impossible. You're doing a big job, but you can't make up for everything that passed 60 years ago. All our water lines are screwed up completely. Yeah, I know. The other guy had more than I had. And one other thing. I got a letter in the mail from the village of Westchester about the representative for sewer lines. You neglected to mention one other item, and that's the water line, which was supposed to be $4.50, I guess. You only mentioned the sewer line. I'm interested in both. Both of them. And my house is pretty old, just like me. So I think that we should have both of them. When the house gets that old, you have to have that kind of protection, because it would cost a fortune for me to replace that water line if it breaks, that lead line that we have going into my house. And as far as the sewer lines, I don't know where the heck that one goes. I know it goes to the neighbor back in their garage. And I don't know how good that line is either. With all the trees there, they're probably right in the lines. I don't know how the sewers even get to the sewer. So that's my story tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Well, let me try to answer a couple of those. I know you rapid fired them. The City of Chicago treats the water before it gets here as well. We test it again and we treat it again, but it is chlorinated from the City of Chicago. They do not just send lake water to us. It goes through the Jardine filtration plant. It's treated, it comes out here, it's tested before it hits your mouth. So, in fact, that does happen. Your pension situation, I think we kind of went over that last time. We cannot unilaterally award anybody a pension that wasn't established when you were working here as a part-time or volunteer firefighter. Legally, statutorily, we can't do that now.
How would you like to take 23 years off of your pension and live like this?
but-
Live without it for 23 years.
I'm just telling you, we can't do that legally. Number three, your sewer line, you belong to a community of Westchester. Just the other day, we had a sanitary sewer line collapse that we had to fix that basically everybody pays for. It wasn't on your street, it was on Balmoral. We were out till 1 o'clock in the morning fixing that collapse. So as part of a community, you share in all the costs and share in whatever. I mean, you probably don't use 9,000 gallons a quarter in your water, I'm guessing that, but you pay for 9,000. There are a number of homes that, like my father, he's passed away. We don't even use 1,000 gallons of water, however, we pay for 9. Similar, I'm sure that you don't have any children in the public schools. However, part of your tax money goes to pay for Proviso 209. So, you know, it's pretty much the same situation.
I'm
It's-
still waiting for my sewer to get fixed.
well,
It's still 73 inches from the street. The street is cracked all the way across to the other side.
Oh, man, there's a zillion streets that are in far worse condition than yours, trust me on that one. Let's see, what else did you? Oh, each one of the trustees have a committee, economic development, green committee, special events, citizen advisory board. So each one of them do their part, and they certainly assist me constantly. We're in constant communication. One of the differences, I'm here a good part of the day, and sometimes part of the evening, and trying to oversee as much as I can. You're absolutely right. I'm doing way too much. But again, I love the town, been here my whole life, just like you, and I want to see a lot of things fixed that may have been, through nobody's fault, neglected in the past. So we're at a difficult time, but I think we're all trying to do our best, just like you. Yes. It goes in,
Or is it going to the general fund?
no, it goes into the water fund, and it pays for water lines, it pays for a number of things. Fire hydrants, we replaced one the other day at Dickens and Bristol, brand new hydrant there. It was a couple $1,000, you know, at the end of the day, that's where that goes to.
It's set aside, it's not going in the general fund of the village.
It goes into the water fund. That's what it's geared up for. So those are the things that are out there. But I hope I'd answered your questions. If I neglected to answer one in the past, I apologize for that. I hope I answered it now. So, anyone else, please step up.
Bernie Farmer, 1124 Newcastle, Westchester. To you, AKA the Crazy Man or the Town Crier. It was brought to my attention today as I was driving around looking at lawns. Guys are doing a great job at Shire. You know, the service looks nice. I was kind of checking out the overgrowth and that, and it was brought to the attention that we do have some people that are not capable because of their age to do anything with their lawns. I mean, you've got one on Canterbury, it's probably 3 feet tall. I believe that lady might have been put into a home. There's no way that that lady should be responsible for her lawn. I mean, yeah, it is her responsibility, but she can't do it from a home. And I'm sure we have other seniors in the town that are not physically able to do this stuff. And I'm asking you guys to come up, maybe with a solution, where we give them a discount rate of some kind to help them out. Maybe they don't trust anybody that knocks on the door. You know, there's a lot of guys running around out there, and hey, I'll do it for $20, and then all of a sudden it's 30, and then it's 40. I don't know. But one of these days, all you guys up here are gonna have a walker or a cane, probably stand a little sooner than some. But anyway,
I have one now.
you know, it's just that, you know, I mean, we gotta start helping. You know, we got this senior citizen or center that we got. Let's start, you know, I have coffee with these people in the morning. Because one of these days I'm gonna be one of them. And I like listening to their stories. And I like hearing what's going on in their minds. And I think it's about time. I realize we can't appease everybody. We can't fix everybody's trees. We can't make it all right. We can't be there right when they want us to be there and do all that kind of stuff. But a little foot forward, take that center, put a coffee pot on it, put a timer on it because they're gonna forget to unplug it. And have somebody just there to listen. You know, okay, what's your problem today? Oh, I've been in this town 54 years and this is what's wrong. All right, so you listen. Okay, you don't take it all to heart, but let's try. Okay, guys?
Appreciate
With me on this?
We're with you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Mr. Farmer. Anyone else, please, step up. Once, twice, anything. Okay. Okay, item number 6, public hearing under item A, electrical power aggregation plan of operation and governance. looks like 7:20. We'll call to order the public hearing in regards to the electric power aggregation plan of operation and governance. If anyone would like to certainly address the board regarding this situation, I believe we have someone here. from-
We actually have Mary Beth Shover
From
here from NIMAC, who would be happy to answer any questions anybody has.
So tonight's meeting is for the public to, or the board to ask any questions on what's going to happen on the electric aggregation.
You know, Mary Beth, I did get a question today from
Yeah.
an elderly resident. Apparently, right at this minute, everyone in town is being inundated with either phone calls or direct mailing on a gazillion different companies. And the people don't know exactly what to do. And this is what I said, so I need you to either sanctify my comments or change them. I basically said that on May 31st, the Illinois Commerce Commission will be receiving bids from a host of companies regarding the service of electricity. And at that time, there'll be some type of rate that will be out there, and we'll know a little bit better of what the potential rate is. ComEd, Direct Energy, Blue Star, whatever which one is out there, are all bidders in this rate structure. And I believe your company, NIMAC, as the broker, will be looking at that and contacting the village or villages that you represent and say, basically, this is the rate from, say, Direct Energy, this is the one I think that the village should go with, and then we're gonna tell you to lock in that rate as a municipal rate that may be outside of ComEd. We are still gonna pay on our bills to ComEd. The transmission of the electricity, ComEd has a lock on it because it's their poles and pretty much their wires. But as far as the electricity itself, that is a commodity that through deregulation in 2007, other companies have sparked interest and have made inroads into supplying that, and in some cases, at a lesser charge per kilowatt hour. Am I pretty much on the right page?
You are correct, Mr.
Okay.
President. The ComEd has come out with their rate for next year. That rate will be, I think it's 8.0, is that right, Janet?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, 8.0. And most of the suppliers that we're bidding with, current towns and current market day prices are less than 5.0 right now.
Your job is to get us the lowest rate.
And that's going to depend. Your board's going to group together and decide what's the most important things for your town, make it custom. And, you know, again, if we can group your town with other towns to give you more buying power, we're going to do that and get you the best, lowest.
And presently, if I'm not mistaken, so everybody has an idea about your company, you represent approximately how many municipalities to date in these items? And if not, you are the most picked person to represent mumunispalities, your company. Is that not a true statement?
That is totally correct. We have, I think, 75 new towns, ranging from Montgomery, Illinois, all the way to Lake Forest, and everywhere in between. Yeah.
So thank you. So with that being said, if there's any other questions for Mary Beth from the audience, we kind of laid out a little bit of foundation. Okay. Any questions from the board that have not been answered or commented on? If there's no more, I'll close the public hearing. What time is it? Looks like
7:25.
7:26 p.m. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Item number 7, there is items A through F, record of bills, department reports, approval of minutes, resolution authorizing water tank engineering, resolution approving lawn maintenance, resolution authorizing change order for High Ridge Sewer Project. Does anyone need anything pulled? No? If not, is there a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as proposed?
So moved.
Second.
Walter, Tommy, was it you, sir?
Yep.
And Tom. Mrs. Booth, a roll call, please.
Mr. Gattuso?
Aye.
Mr. Novak?
Aye.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Sloan?
Aye.
Mr. Stecker?
Aye.
Mr. Yurkovich?
Aye.
Mr. Pulian?
Aye. All the items carry. Under active agenda, item number A, ordinance authorizing aggregation of electrical load and adopting an electrical aggregation plan of operants and government. Janet, any, maybe a motion, a second to approve?
So moved.
Nick?
Second.
Frank? Additional discussion? Janet, anything to discuss?
No, this sets out our plan of governance to move forward with, the next step will be going to bid for our municipal power rates.
Pretty close to free though, right? Under 5%?
Much less than ComEd.
Okay.
I want them to pay us.
Okay, any other discussion regarding that? Could do a roll call.
Yes, sir, on an ordinance. Roll call.
Kathy, all those in favor say aye.
No, we need a roll
No,
call.
A roll
on
call, I'm
ordinance.
sorry.
Yes, sir. Roll call.
Kathy, roll call, please.
Mr. Novak?
Aye.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Sloan?
Aye.
Mr. Stecker?
Aye.
Mr. Yurkovich?
Aye.
Mr. Gattuso?
Aye.
Mr. Pulian?
Aye, motion carries. Item number B on the active agenda, ordinance amending the general penalty provision in various sections of the public peace, safety, and morals of the Westchester Municipal Code. Motion by.
So moved.
Approval. Nick, second by.
Second.
Tommy, discussion.
Mr. President and board members, this is the item that was discussed at the last meeting, or the meeting prior to the adoption of the budget with Chief Padlick regarding her suggested changes. These were gone over with the chief, and we didn't adopt the Western Springs ordinance en masse. We were selective in adopting the language and modifying Westchester's code.
And those modification went through legal review, and there's not a problem with anything?
Yes, sir.
Mike, anything jump out at you as deficient, or were we overly deficient and now we're now sufficient?
There was some modifications necessary, as you can see. I think there were 20-plus items on the Western Springs one, and I don't think we have that many sections in this ordinance. But there were some updates required, if you recall. Some of your code sections dated from the 1930s and 40s, and they needed modification. So,
Chief, are you satisfied with the updates and the review by legal staff? Did they?
Most definitely. A lot of housekeeping was done on this, and I want to bring out to Trustee Stecker's attention 704-220, obstructing public places, and 708-050, loitering, as he expressed some concerns with summer months coming. This is not only just for NATO, but it's something we've needed for a long time. So I think we'll be well covered for giving our staff the tools they need to enforce these ordinances.
Any other questions other than April? What 25 do you have next coming at us?
I can make a career out of updating that book.
Okay, any questions by the board regarding those changes to the Public Peace and Moral Municipal Code? If not, Kathy, please call the roll.
Mr. Perry?
Aye.
Mr. Sloan?
Aye.
Mr. Stecker?
Aye.
Mr. Yurkovich?
Aye.
Mr. Gattuso?
Aye.
Mr. Novak?
Aye.
Mr. Pulian?
Aye, motion carries. And
President Pulley, I want to just point out to the chief, we beat your NATO deadline, so they're in place. You can enforce them now for NATO if you need them. Hopefully you won't.
Okay, and, I want to thank April for gathering the data and doing this. It was something that, as a police officer, we needed to have done a number of years ago, and just didn't happen. So thank you for.
I'm sure there'll be more coming.
So now we need another 25 for next week. Okay, manager's report.
So just a couple of things to mention tonight. As Mr. Malpier stated, that the residents have received a letter in the mail signed by President Puglia with the enrollment form for the Sewer Line Warranties of America insurance program. I am reviewing that letter now, and as Mr. Milpier said, it does just address the sewer program. There is a 1-800 number included in this letter that I would recommend that you call, and it is a sanitary sewer only, not your storm sewer, just for clarification. And please call that number and confirm enrollment also in your water lines, if you so choose. The rate is $5.50. It looks like they are offering a discount if you sign up early. So please review those letters and sign up if you so choose. Also, just wanted everybody to mark the date. The Westchester Gardens is going to have their annual plant sale on Saturday, May 19th, located on the corner of Mannheim and Cermak. And we encourage everybody to come out and buy some plants there. All profits from the sale are used to maintain and plant the Welcome Garden. The Westchester Gardens also provides the Peter Rabbit and Courtyard Gardens at the Westchester Public Library. So come on out and buy some plants and help to beautify Westchester. And I think Paul may be touching on it later, but I wanted to remind everybody that the entrance forms are available in the newsletter you received this week for the 4th of July parade. So we hope that everybody will come out and join the parade and make it bigger and better than ever. That's all I have.
Mr. Durkin, anything from the realm of the attorney?
Not this evening, thank you.
Board members, anything? Tommy, CAB, you want to give us a highlight of your walk?
We did have that walk in the health fair this past Saturday. It was a pretty well attended event, and it was somewhat of a gloomy day, but everybody was able to come out and walk. There was about 45 people, I would say, that came out to it. And we have our next meeting tomorrow in the community room at 7. And also next weekend, if nobody's doing anything, the Park District is hosting their softball tournament starting Thursday through Sunday, so at Mayfair.
Not this weekend, but
The 17th through the 20th. So.
And Tom, I did want to thank all the vendors that you had at St. Joe's and
Yes,
St.
yep.
Joseph's High School
Yep.
for allowing us the space
Absolutely,
in
St. Joe's was a
their
big help.
library. And all the vendors were, it was very nice for them to be there and take their time in a number of causes
Absolutely.
and that, so it was a good cause. Thank you. Green Committee, I think, Wally, you have a green event coming up.
Yes, we do. We have the monthly e-recycling event from 9 to 12 this Saturday. I hope everybody is done bringing in TVs, because that was the big item last month. Please drop off behind the fire department at Roosevelt Road, and we are there from 9 to 12 to accept all the old electronics, because as everybody knows, it is now, I believe, against law to put your electronic recyclings out for garbage. So if you do, it will probably just sit there and collect dust. So bring it, we'll take it off your hands and put them in a neat little box and send it away. There's no cost to Westchester, there's no cost to the residents, just the big cost on my doctor bills after I'm done. So, but that's going on. We the green team also is setting up. We're looking to get Waste Management to bring one of their green vehicles into the parade, 4th of July parade, and we're also working with Waste Management, Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, and one more organization for the fest to display rain barrels and other green initiatives that are going on that helps residents not only save green, or be green, but save green, and green being money. So things are becoming, green initiatives are now becoming lower in cost and are putting money in your pocket. So we'll start explaining that a little bit at the fest. So that's all I have.
And WRD did send out a information piece the other day, $58, and you could contact MWRD and they will deliver them to you. So that's something that's normally, they deliver them to us and we deliver them. We were happy to do that as well, but they've expanded their program.
we're looking at having a rain barrel out there and show what you can do with the rain barrels.
Thank you. EDC.
EDC has not met since our last board meeting, so there's really nothing to report on that. However, there is a save the date, Wednesday, May 30th, at the Westchester Community Church, 1840 Westchester Boulevard. The Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, the CMAP, will be holding another meeting there. I encourage all the residents to go. It only helps our cause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nikolai, anything for the order?
911 hasn't met. No, just wanted to mention though that the grass looks, the guys really made a lot of headway. It looks really good right now.
I heard you
Boulevard and
were cutting
everything.
up the storm today.
Yeah, looks real good.
Brian, anything?
tonight, thank you.
Paulie, you're gonna comment?
Yeah, well, as Janet has said, the parade in the newspaper, the application will come out for the parade. Hopefully we can encourage everybody to fill it out, send it in, get your business, your organization, your charity, anything into that parade would be fun. It's a good place to advertise. I think that if we encourage everybody and spark and help people to get into the parade, I think it'll work well. I just got notification that the Rockers from the hockey team from Rockford are sending their mascot also, so that'll be in the parade also.
A minute there, you thought he was getting the Rockettes.
I'm trying.
Hockey
boss.
players
You
love
know,
the Rockettes.
they'll be up in front, I'll tell you that much.
I'll drive the float.
But it's coming together. We're getting a lot of play. One other suggestion I'll make to the board members, if you can, well, I'm going to try to reach out to the schools. I'd like to get maybe the kids on their bikes like we used to do when we were kids with the little baseball cards on their spokes and everything, to decorate their bikes for 4th of July. So I think it'd be kind of great, get them involved. If we can get a little section with just them riding bikes in the parade for us too, that would be great. So if if you guys are interested, let me know. We'll section off a part for them and we'll get going. But, other than that, that's what we have from the events committee.
Good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that as well. Okay, Chief Padlick, anything you'd like to share this evening? James?
Hydrant testing and flushing continues. I just want to remind everybody, if you notice any discolored water, just let it run until it runs clear. Again, with this hydrant testing and hydrant flushing, it not only ensures that your hydrants are maintained and working properly in case we need them, it also flushes the water system to keep our water clean and drinkable.
And as a result of that, we've already identified 3 hydrants. One that I've indicated earlier had to be repaired. We have 2 of them having leaks that we're going to address as soon as we get enough personnel to handle everything that we're handling. So, thank you. And I want to thank the FD last night. I called them out at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the chief was out there as well with me with the sewer line issue on Balmoral, which was a very time-consuming leak, to say the least. Jim was there through it all, and they came out at 1 o'clock in the morning to do a wash down, and they did a nice job at that as well. We will be, so Jim knows, Public Works will be hooking up additional valving on Balmoral. It's one of the main feeder mains that I think has, based on our plumbing inspector, some inadequacies as far as the shutdowns, that if we would have a main break, that the effects of all the Chaucer streets, Pelham, and all that is quite expansive along that line. So we will be installing 2 valves in that to try to break that up in the event we have a water main break, that we won't have as many people out as potentially could be out now. So just a heads up with that. And Ann, anything?
Yeah, the village budget for the fiscal year beginning last Tuesday, May 1st, and running through April 30th of 2013 has been approved last Monday and is posted on the newly redesigned village website. So for some interesting reading, you can go there.
Anthony. Or Anthony. Anthony. Nothing. Everything going well in the?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of grass out there to be cut. Even ours was a little bit higher than we would like it. I know there's been a ton of rain, and sometimes trying to cut in between the raindrops has been very difficult. I think the contract service is doing a great job as well, and I plan on hooking up with them tomorrow to see where they are and following up on that. I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, generally when we find high grass, and I did get several calls today on it, that we contract out a private person to go do that.
Yes,
through the village auspices, and then we attach that bill to the water bill of the grass cutting services and try to make an attempt to recoup those monies. I know that it's, people say lean, but sometimes the leaning is a very difficult thing, and we use that as a last resort. Is that not?
That is
the fact? And additionally, there's no state requirement, although Mrs. Yarborough and other state representatives have been looking into this and trying to get it passed on the state level to put the mortgagees, or the mortgage companies, I should say, put some skin in the game and make them culpability. However, there's no state law. I know the county passed some ordinances in regards to that as well, but I know Mrs. Yarborough was trying to get it on a state level to try to make the mortgage companies, because obviously they have a vested interest. The house is going back to them, and very little money is going to go back to the person that was foreclosed upon, that they need to have skin in the game. And for whatever reason, some of the other legislative people are not in favor of
that is
tapping
also
the mortgage
correct.
companies. So I think it's Senate Bill 16, maybe, was the one that last came out. But anyway, it's a very difficult task for municipalities, not only ours, but others as well, to try to keep up on the foreclosure rate and the property maintenance. And I would hope that all the residents of Westchester would certainly take a look at their property and see what type of beautification that they could make on their own that maybe wouldn't be very costly, but would certainly enhance the beauty of the lovely town. So, thank you. Mrs. Booth, anything? I keep forgetting you, but there you are. Okay. Board President report. I'll be brief if that's possible. Yeah, impossible, right? Today, Janet and I went to a meeting at Commonwealth Edison, and I think everyone in town could see the amount of work that Commonwealth Edison has been doing in our village over the last couple of months. They've inundated that south area by Wally. I know they've replaced some poles and putting some type of transmission lines, fuses, and all kinds of little upgrades to make a problem fixable in the quickest possible manner. I also saw that Westchester and the Maywood area will be getting the smart meters pretty much throughout the town. I know some may have the smart meters already, but I think when the whole program is up, but that's on the horizon as well. It's a quick fix. You don't even know it's happening. They pull the pin, pull the meter, put the new one in, and that's that. Additionally, Janet and I were with a bunch of municipal leaders today at a ComEd meeting where they spoke about having a joint operations center, or the JOC, J-O-C. And as a result of the 900,000 customers that were under the bus last year with the ComEd outage, the way I understand this is they wanted to have municipal people in the know. And my comments to them were, as a municipal leader, we're on the phone listening to a conference call and really had no opportunity other than trying to get a hold of our representative to try to get something done. They want to put a joint operations center together that if 40,000 customers were out in this 28 municipal town area, that they would activate this. They feel that even with the 900,000 out last year, that they would have had probably 3 opportunities to put this JOC together. They were looking for municipal participation to answer the phone, and certainly be part and parcel with ComEd in finding solutions and getting people back up as quickly as possible. I offered on behalf of our village, and the village of Melrose Park offered as well, to be possibly a site in the grassy knoll out here that in the event that there would be some type of outages and that we may be able to be a resource and get things going. I want to say I offered for selfish reasons, but I figured if we were out and we were here manning some phone lines that we're going to try to figure out how to get in the game with, that maybe we would be first repaired. So, with that in there, there were just myself and Phil Schwartz from Melrose Park had the blessing of his mayor to offer up that site as a potential location in the event that this JOC is activated. I know tomorrow we have a meeting at Triton as well in regards to this issue through the WCMC. But I think that having a partnership with Commonwealth Edison and being part of it as a municipal leader, helping other municipalities, getting their power back up and being an integral part of that it could only be a help in situations where Westchester needs a little bit of help. And I'm offering up our grassy knoll, and we'll see if it fits their muster. And one of the things we talked about is they said they'd like to have 10 phone lines, so I said, well, you know, maybe they can get a hold of ComEd and we could run 10 phone lines in here and have a block of phones. To do that, we certainly have the facility for tables and this, that, and the other thing. But I said it was a little bit of a selfish reason to be part of it as well, other than being in the know to have our finger on the pulse. So, other than that, I know Mother's Day is right around the corner, and I would hope that each of us would take the time to remember Mom and Grandma and our wives and that, and should be treating them great every day, but there's some cases I know we don't, that we do that. I know everybody had a mother in this room, and I'm certainly
What are you guys looking at me for?
believe that that our moms did the best they could with us in some difficult circumstances as well, and we don't want to forget them. So, congratulations all the mothers out there as well. Executive session, I think we have something brief after the committee of the whole for personnel. Is that not the?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a motion and a second to adjourn our board meeting?
So moved.
Nicholas.
Second.
Tommy. All those in favor of adjourning and going into our committee of the whole, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, nay? We stand adjourned.